And today I want to talk a little bit about Dharma and kind of mastering our own domain. What is it to master our own domain, right? Our domain being that of our experience of self, experience of consciousness, both in the subtle and in the more dense dimensions, right? Being aware of ourselves physically. I'm in pain, I'm in discomfort, I'm in bliss, I'm in ecstasy, right? Or being aware of our emotional environments. I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I feel a sense of equanimity, or I feel unbalanced, I feel anxious, right? And it's when we start to allow ourselves to not only merge with the messages that our body is telling us. Now, the body is always communicating with us, but if it's communicating something we don't want to hear, oftentimes we deny it, reject it, avoid it, bury it. Same holds true with the mind and the emotions. Things come up, we push it away because it's inconvenient, it's undesirable. But in doing so, we are becoming less unified, more fragmented, typically more insane. Right? And it causes depression, it causes illness. But when we start to actually allow ourselves to take inventory of the messages that are coming through the physical body, the mental body, and the emotional body, take care of them, understand them, spend time with them, sit with them, then we start to become masters of our own domain because we become more unified with everything that is expressing itself through our consciousness. This work that we do with Kundalini yoga, with mantra, with meditation, with breath work, it prepares us to become masters of our own domain and align more closely with our Dharma. We become aware and sensitive to the truth in our inner environment and the energy behind our projection. Right? A projection is only just a vibration expressed outward of our inner environment. Is our inner truth being projected into our outward expression in alignment? We begin to sense and prefer when it does, right? As yogis, as people who start to practice the technology of consciousness, when we start to align that inner experience with the outer projection, we feel fulfilled, we feel whole, we feel unified, we feel in alignment. We start accessing that place within ourselves that longs to live dharmically, in alignment with the universal flow, in alignment with Tao. When we are living dharmically, our outer actions are matching our inner calling, along with a recognition and a realization that following that calling is the only real and true choice. It's a surrender and a humility to the highest governing power, even if it's inconvenient, right? Even if it's scary. And I think a lot of people deny their truth. They deny their authenticity. They deny their essence because it's terrifying to do what you would have to do to stay in harmony with that. You may have to give up on prior made commitments. You may have to start again from the ground up. You may have to leave all that is familiar and abandon everything you know in order to live in alignment with your truth and live dharmically. So it's not something everybody does, right? Some people go to their dying day and die without ever having lived their authentic life. And the opposite of that, the opposite of living in alignment and in our own truth, is when we are dominated by the ego, stuck in our will, stuck in fear, our preferences, or our expectations, and we force a mental agenda instead of considering and aligning with the truth and the reality of the present moment. What it's telling us, what it's communicating to us, the direction it's encouraging us and to move toward. So many people are motivated by the idea of finding their purpose, right? In essence, the pull toward finding our purpose is really a desire to connect to one's own Dharma. To endeavor to find one's purpose insinuates that one's life currently lacks purpose. Right? And it's exactly that perspective that guarantees that we won't find it. Right? It's that lack of belief that we are doing the right thing, that we are in alignment, that we are good and whole to begin with. It's not the process of sifting through a bunch of roles and careers to find one that fits a mental image or a perception of who we think we should be. It's the matter of aligning with one's truth. As uncomfortable and as inconvenient as it may be at the moment, that's living dharmically. And once we align with it and operate from that lens, that's when we start living dharmically, which is really what people are seeking when they say they are looking for their purpose. They're looking for their outer life to match their inner truth, their inner knowing. And this is what Eckhart Tolle referred to when describing the now, also known as the Tao, right? We drop the strategizing and self-rejection and just be sober with the moment. It's hard to define the now because once you do, you've actually misrepresented it. By design, the now can't be limited to a description because it's never the same thing twice. There's nothing fixed or comparable about the now. It's different at every moment for every individual at every breathing second, moment, millisecond. It's pure integration and recognition of the present arising. It's alive and totally impersonal, right? But full of love at the same time. That's what's so rich and alive about it. It's so beautiful, it's so powerful. And in this place, one is easily acquainted with one's own purpose, or more aptly called one's own dharma. Dharma is operating in alignment with our inner truth. This is why shadow work is so important. It allows us to dissolve the false beliefs we think are true about ourselves, or at least right-size them. And once dissolved, the inner truth can reveal itself. Then we are able to facilitate and allow our own true thoughts, feelings, decisions, words, and actions to move from that place of truth. Then we start doing things that fit us best, and life takes on a more purposeful quality. A sense, a feeling of purpose, fulfillment, gratitude takes form. Yoga is the science and technology of cultivating the space within ourselves. It is a science and a technology of spiritual evolution, of personal transformation, of moving from caterpillar to butterfly in the way that it is done in human form. It's a powerful tool to help us come into our fullest potential of expression. Reclaiming our natural state. We start waking up, we start healing. We start becoming more unified.